for today is your input, and any comments you have are going to plan approach the last like top of the night. So on Greenway are corridors of open space that can connect people, parks, historic sites, and natural areas, and they can vary greatly from narrow ribbons to wide corridors and something. And that's a definition of that. And open space, I have some discussion way but open space, what is open space? Any open piece of land that is undeveloped and accessible to the public. And open space can include green spaces such as parks, community gardens, cemeteries, schoolyards, playgrounds, public seating areas, plazas, and system. And so greenways encompass open space, but there are other components to green. There are connectors, hubs, and nodes. This is the hub and spoke concept for green. So connectors are things like trails, scenic roads, streams. Hubs are larger spaces of recreation, such as gamelands or places of exchange, such as Main or the Bosphorus Nectar. And we also have nodes, which are supporting pieces that support the function, such as hydrants. These provide programming for some. And for the plan, we have inventoried a lot of the components within Wyoming County over the summer. I visited all 17 municipal parks and inventory different components to them, and safety issues, accessibility issues, anything that might level of accessibility. Identified the water trail, 2 cave trails, 2 byways, 1 multi-modal trail, and we broke up our understanding of parks. The regional parks, which are larger parks like Leaf Grove or Sky Junction Park, or community parks, which typically service the community and still offer some of the things. And then there's sports complexes like where we're at today, and pocket parks like Elmer, Nordall Park, or So from our public survey, which we conducted at the end of 2019 to the beginning of 2020, people responded. So thank you for putting out there. We included this chart to kind of, this chart I think really encompasses a lot of what the values are in Wyoming County. So one of the questions that we asked were, what are the most important things that you or visit Wyoming County? Top 3 or 4 of their scenic beauty. Lived here all of my life, so people and then rural character for really important for our planning process. What we've completed so far is I've reviewed pretty much every past planning document that has something to do with Wyoming County, and looked at different recommendations those plans have made, and seeing what has happened from them, if action has actually happened from the different recommendations that they've had. For the protected natural areas, there's different zoning, regulations, buffers, as well as exploring new concepts to increase leadership or improve accessibility to different park locations, different park features, as well as highlighting different narratives. There's a lot of indigenous and historic history that's happening in Wyoming County, and it's really important to share that with people who want to come and take it because it's a really ways that a lot of exchanges happen throughout history. And that leads into creative and reinterpreting and educational opportunities to things like signage programs and different programs that may include natural history interpretation. Been in the works of trying to contact state and local health agencies to see what people are doing around here for recreation for fitness and health. And obviously continue to improve existing recreation spaces that you guys already have. Promote economic prosperity through tourism. Have room tax. Have the Emerald Visitor Center who does ad campaigns, and probably one of the most important their advances is that is a citizen. Waterfalls, highways that are outside of the highway. Also, again, home trail and loading with the connections that the public. You know, the place of conservation programming, but it also has a floodplain, waterways, agricultural are important for preserving rural forests. Also, agricultural and private two types of uh, private conservation that private landowners have gone in on and private conservation that are accessible for on preserve or just and also address the southern have that for this starting from more and some others whether recognized for historic purposes such as the white snow, which is a federally recognized historic structure protected environment, or places of interest that might not necessarily have a level of protection, but they have significance for the what is fairground, rabbit downtown, like that. Also identify where visible parts are in relationship to everything else. So and then also identify the public and accessible areas of the reserve can walk along the first a little less land and crossing. What this overview map kind of starts to identify the fact that have a really great network of roads that bisect basically completely the six, the 29 coming from the southern portion, and as well as these opportunities for trails that connect from other counties, such as the Trolley Trail, the Aztec Trail, that's what's currently proposed right now. Great resources. Also, identify side effects. So something that we've noticed is there's like but there are a lot of farms within the county, as well as sportsmen, as well, because and we've just been trying to identify where people recreate, what public private recreation is not connected. Identifying roads for education, biking, or other dirt and gravel roads. We are able to get GIS dirt and gravel road program. Trying to see where the connection can along network or whichever
maintaining the rural character. That's actually part of our mission statement. With follow and obviously COVID wasn't a thing when we had started this process. But now that it kind of led to sort of a mass exodus out of cities and rural places like ours, it's kind of wondering how we can balance that, accepting new folks into the area but still maintaining that rural character. Because I'm sure when all the planning departments have had, our region have had, a lot more subdivision requests and things like that. Obviously, people are starting to sell property. Homes are selling a lot faster. So I was just curious, what your thoughts are on maintaining that rural character as a lot of people come from rural areas like ours, now work and live.
There's also, I just started today, about producing outdoor opening. So I haven't heard right now.
Yes. Yeah.
But things that I have a couple of different strategies that they employ. One of them is making sure that you have a place that's like inclusive for people.
Yes. I know that was kind of a thing.
It's still kind of bubbling in the, yeah. Christine kind of indicated that there was some movement still going on. So I didn't ask in depth in the forum that we were meeting in at the time, but
Just make sure it doesn't do efficient.
Yeah, that's the big thing. But yeah, my understanding is that there's still activity on the state side in pursuing it.
But it is very when I was driving from
I do know that there's a safety project for PennDOT at the intersection of Sugar Hollow and 29, as well as the repair of the slide on 29. Yeah, we were literally just asked for our top 3 recommendations over the next 2 years, right? The 2-year let from PennDOT for projects. And we were asked to rank our top 3 to Congressman Keller's office. It sounds as though, I guess the intent was him maybe trying to push some of the rural projects up there. Yeah, so that section on 29 were actually 2 that both of us had ranked.
They were the
So it wasn't on the list in the 2-year let of projects. Yeah.
Trying to convince them. We don't agree with right. It's still a big spot. It's a horrible problem. Yeah. That's why we thought that he's trying to get them to take the pump. And I think that's what's on our
slide. I'm not sure what the slide project encompasses, but
Labella. I was just at Labella yesterday for some of our flood projects. And they're great. Eric.
Dave. Yeah, Dave and Tony are who we use for the planning commission.
Here that are working on the roads I tried to do. We're still, like you mentioned, it's not a done deal yet, but yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, and I just got an opportunity. They opened the 3rd phase of the trolley trail last week. That was a great day, and they talked about their main goal is to get Nicholson and Wyoming. So eventually here live.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Am I allowed to say about Erica? About our picture? Or don't we? Yeah. So the theater is their next photo on the mural on the single B of the Bosberg neck. And we're hoping that there's interest to more interest with that part of our trails and things. They're also going to do a postcard so people can get in front of it and and put things on there. And, I just wanted to bring that up. It's just so they'll be promoting that here in town too. So kind of cool. Yeah, many places all about right. Pretty heavily, but there's a lot of things going on out there. Of course, we just added disc golf course. So different. I mean, like so many people. It is here. Very happy. Also run Allen. I always call it the hidden gem. It is very few and far between. You tell them about Allen or they don't even know about it. So I think the biggest thing is promoting those trails. There's about 5 miles of trails in Allen. And it connects to everyone. It's absolutely gorgeous. I could run there all day long. There's so many people that don't even know it's there. Even to go down to the neck, you can come down the trail from Palin, Camp Mark 1 and down, run the whole loop of the neck. But I think that's the biggest thing. Oh, I've told many people that's a hidden gem. It is. There's so many people that don't know.
My mind, it has so many like colloquial that Blufford, Nash Howland, Lackawanna, Ernie, forget his name now, but his that name is
Ernie Howland.
Ernie Howland, sorry, okay. So that might contribute a little bit, or
Right. You know, I mean, it has great road access. I mean, you could drive right to it, right? It was actually just down the. Yeah, we were there. After 2020, and it really showed us, like I was saying before, that people are flocking to rural areas to recreating cities. So with something like that, we were hoping that would bring a lot more attention to places like Camp Michael that we're talking about. You know, we're also trying. We've always tried to do that. Camp Lackawanna, our soldier normally takes place there, so all over coming from that. Just trying to my family sojourn. Parents are more comfortable coming to their kids. So they want to make sure all the guidelines and stuff are followed. Camp Lackawanna. So I am still with that camp director. Right now we're doing some sites out in Sullivan County to kind of explore those state parks and state forests, oil cyber, and all that. But next year, and the year after, kind of move to each of the R4 counties. Are done the Wyoming County location where we can post some sites and things like that. Ready for that. For kayak and things like that, up through there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, so it's got a great launch access point. Like Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts, they have Camp Scouts in there. What's not stuff, but it's hard to know a lot of people going up there. I think we get notified of the courthouse, but I'd be glad to work with our web designer, maybe just put stuff on our website. I mean, that's stuff that I don't think about, and you're right, absolutely, it needs to be taken care of. I think that would be great. I'm glad to work with Katie, that he has a list of everything. And with you and with everybody, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if that would be done.
Yeah, so yeah, so we had this, we met.
That they're allowing us to talk about particular topics.
Yeah, so Randy, one of the problems always has been with the game lands is the true identification of assets in the game lands and how much they want to actually publicize them. Because they don't really promote or support. I mean, all of us that have dealt with them kind of knows they don't really promote trail usage in the game land. Not that if you wanted to go there or Jeff wanted to go there, I mean, Jeff has published, post after post, trail after trail.
Well, the biggest thing is they like to discourage camping.
Yeah. So we actually had like all of the waterfalls identified on there. And yeah, and we, for now, until we get a little bit more direction from the game commission as to what is okay to put on our map as far as trails and that type of stuff.
Even just so bad. Yep.
Recommended.
Sullivan County for years before when I was on board. I've had members of my board trying to establish a connector trail between Ricketts Point and Wilton. The issue is it touches game lanes. While they're fine with having the trail on it, the reason is probably be about a 35-mile trail to connect the two. So they're concerned that they need to have a point for camping along the way, which they don't allow on campus. So that's what's kind of created, they can shut it down every time.
Yeah, a piece that actually at one time was proposed to come into Game Lands 57 in Wyoming County, and because the battle seems so uphill, just to get that smaller connection done, that we've kind of dropped off the piece that connects into Wyoming County right now, just trying to get Ricketts Glen it connected.
Well, essentially, what they say is they aren't actually obligated to work with ECNR or anything like that, because they don't actually use their state funding to do the recreation program. They use the funding they get from the hunting license.
Primarily support the function of that their money, that where their money comes from, which is, generating ground.
Our idea is kind of counter offer to them is that, well, look, we're worried about people being on the trail during hunting season. Put up signage to say for times they're not allowed to be on the trail, and the rest of the 9 months out of the year they can, but still that gets shut down too. So it's really hard to see our side of it. All we were asking for was literally a speaker plot out of that area to get the Greenway create kind of a campground along the way. We're kind of a designated area. Obviously, no hunting will take place there, but everywhere around us, but they still just don't want to work. I think the biggest thing is we have to have a gap years ago. Of course, now they I think it's just they don't want to be monitored. Well, and they don't see any revenue from it. So I think that's why they're. I mean, beautiful recreation. Yeah, certainly is. They just don't want to. Well, they will allow gas rigs and stuff on it, but they will. So it's fun. But I said, well, you'll let a gas rig do it, but not a nature. It just doesn't really make much sense. So yeah, it's been definitely an uphill battle trying to get that done. Considering we're affordable, but it's massive tourist attraction.
And of course, the trail's right over. Yeah. Right, too. Like, or
Have a serious laugh. You have road signs along the way that show where television park stop. But we don't say anything about the people who were removed after he went through here. And there's a, if we could do something about people who lived there in the 100 years before he arrived, essentially ethnically cleanse the region. So I would propose that we should maybe put some signage at Hawk Park, at Riverside Park, or maybe at the fairgrounds, which are fairly close to where they camp. But there were people, literally Indian Native Americans that lived here before they arrived, and they had their cornfields burned and whatever, and it's unbelievable that they lived for thousands of years peacefully, and we can just walk right over them and they're forgotten. We tried to put that there. It's just that some of this site weren't provided for the green suit that was the German settlement. Yeah, Moravians that came and actually lived with the Native Americans for a while in the late 1700s. Those stands, and I think a big part of that was we were trying to going on with the LNG plant, trying to stop a lot of people from going down there.
he was gonna change himself.
But something that's very important is like historical accuracy, like everything's supposed to get what the caliber is. It's one of the oldest, like,
So that's something we fund interpretive signage projects all the time, wayfinding signage for outdoor recreation and obviously interpretive benefits. That would be a great project. Something we'll definitely work with the local historical societies and museums on, if they want to put up signage like that. But yes, we would definitely want to make sure all the information is accurate. That's, put up an interpretive sign and someone comes who's an expert on the topic and looks at it, sees that it's all wrong. Turns into
According to legend.
Yeah, exactly, right, yeah. Yeah, right.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, really good project to start with.
So I was, yeah, as far as Riverside, and putting that information potentially there, I mean, Diane Terrell was just telling Kane and I at a meeting this week that she had taken photos of all of the old signs and she's in the process of redoing them. So maybe that's something she can capture on her new board. Yeah. She hasn't gotten to a point where she's come out with even a draft copy of it, but she did say that she's working on them.
But that, you're right, you're right.
it like for
It's very successful. Yeah, very fun. I mean, we've got some really great homes in town. I mean, but that's one of many things we could do. Yeah. You're right, if you haven't done that, the theater. And the folks that, yeah, and the folks that do the tours are, all bring their own great aspects to the tours, and, they point out tours different, so you could do it many times. And get different.
Yeah, but there are a lot of other really old homes in the county. Howland, the original farmhouse in Howland, I think when I was pouring through documents for there, that house is like maybe a year or two younger than the oldest house. The original portion of it.
I know when Judy was pretty,
Yeah.
her grandmother.
Well, that's what
lived there.
Judy gave me her history, yeah, she gave me,
Really.
yeah. Judy gave me her family. Judy gave me her family narrative of living down, being down on the preserve, and part of that gave me links to documents to be able to pull to see when that was actually, that house was actually built. Yeah.
Original, right. Really, really deep.
Yeah, it was, I think the date that I found was 1782 for some reason sticks in my head. But yeah, it's, like I said, the date rivals right around the oldest house.
Are your historical points just isolated on your map?
that's kind of like a really interesting component in a place that historically is kind of in jeopardy of losing historical character.
Crazy, but Johnson comes back to sort of the conflict, but they should be preserved. Somebody needs to get back in there and get it.
Now we've got like a state level.
There is some restrictions on the deed though, when it transferred back. I pulled the deed after we were talking about that it changed hands. When it changed from the land trust back to private hands, there are quite a few restrictions on the deed as to what they can do with it or not do with it. So that's at least a bonus that we know it can't just be torn down.
Learn a lot the way Nichols did right there. I mean, I'm not seeing the funds. It was a long process.
Yeah, we can take a look at it. I literally just pulled a deed on Thursday or Friday to see what it was. Yeah, I took the kids. My kids love the drum circle. Yeah. I have the originals at my office. I have the originals. I don't know how I got them, but they're in my office. I think Judy may have given them.
and I have actually been talking about that recently. Like we were saying, the sign. Biggest thing with can't grow to apply for funding or get our.
You can probably count me off of your grant review committee next year.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we can apply
Right,
is if I'm
exactly.
not on your committee.
Oh, you're not a representative for us. Fine,
I'm on the park commission.
Oh, yeah.
Factoryville. I haven't heard anything more from that.
No, that's still great. That's gonna work.
They approached us and maybe do a primary.
Right.
We-
And I got after money for it, do it.
Well,
I just
yeah.
had a call this week.
one of
That's
the
the best.
one of the problems is that we're looking at probably doing a full redesign of the master plan for the park. Because it's so old and it's never had any kind of plan done for it. We don't know what it really needs to do, what it really should be. I mean, we've got two big baskets. Yeah, we've got two big. I know.
I was surprised about it. I didn't have a lot of luck though, working with the local.
The quote they got, I thought was really high compared to the quote that I saw for Factoryville Court also. So I don't want any organization to spend a fortune to put in a pickleball court where it might not really be the right location at Riverside Park to put it. Not saying that one shouldn't be at Riverside Park, but that might not be the right spot to put it. You know, being a designer as as well as Patty, like I have in my head when I walk into Riverside what I think it should be designed as and what would work from just my experience of literally growing up playing in that park. I have a vision in my head of what I think it should be redesigned to and what would work better for the uses that are there as well as adding some uses, but it's not my decision. It's those types.
I think that
Oh yeah, it's that. It's that. Yeah, it was more profile. Yeah. Randy, just a question for you, for Lazy Brook, you know, we're talking about swimming in beaches. I spent a good portion of this summer swimming at Lazy Brook in the creek with my kids. And my kids thought it was great until the water got too low at one point that it really wasn't nice to swim in anymore. But a lot of people don't, I mean, it was great because there was nobody there most days and it was just us swimming there. I think a lot of people don't realize, you know, talking about swimming holes, that you can swim there. And it's not really, not that I don't want to ever say that water is not dangerous, but it's one of the less dangerous areas to swim. Yeah. And I don't know if Patty, when it's right off like where the fishing pier is.
Yeah.
That's where we swim. That's where,
Rope swing, don't come around.
Used to be like, that's such an awesome place. Yeah, Bill, perfect. Spot out. Yeah.
it's the same way with Riverside. Yeah, Riverside was bought with Land and Water Conservation Fund money also.
Panic Creek. Several finalists, so. Take it. Sure. No, big thing with Panic Creek, they're trying, Countryside Conservancy is trying to get some, or a buffer off the creek. They do a little more conservation effort. But
For that is like at a county level, things like the PrEP program, with landowners to have that type of thing. Because if there's an incentive for people privately to have that, like if this is gonna, if I have a solid habitat